Right, so I'm going to show you how to access the Napier Cloud. So the Napier Cloud is a virtualization infrastructure that we can use. So the first thing you should do, if you've not already done so, is to go to desktop.napier.ac.uk, and from here you can download the View client. So once you've done that, you should then be able to connect to your desktop. So we'll just do that now. So we're running a vCenter infrastructure. Normally we would run it from a browser, but some of the plugins aren't quite working on the cloud just now. So what we'll do is we'll use the client program that we can access our VMs from. Okay, so it just takes a little minute. Unfortunately, when you log out, you will lose your setup. So you probably have to make sure that you have all the installation programs to hand. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is that we're going to, so normally we would go to vc2003.napier.ac.uk, and then it's 9443. Okay, still to install a certificate on it. And then from here we would actually log in. So unfortunately the plugins for the browsers aren't quite working correctly. So I'll show you the other way to do this. And that's to be able to download the vSphere client. Okay, so if you type in this address, there's our client. Okay, and then we can download the VMware client that we'll use. So I've already downloaded it, so rather than doing it again, so you go to your users folder, wherever you find the downloads, and you'll have to save it to your profile because it probably won't give you the rights to run it directly. Okay, so I'm just going to run the vSphere client. Okay, so you get it from this link. Once you click on here, it should download it for you. And this will give us the vSphere client, which is a Windows interface, and we should be able to look at all our VMs and get connected to them without actually needing our browser. So it's just going to take a little minute to install. Okay, so while it's doing that, let's have a look. So I'm running this off campus, so obviously it's a little bit slower in terms of the network access. So we'll let that install. Okay, so vSphere has got a great little client, web client, that is great when all the plugins and all the rights work. So if you want to try it, you would download the client first to be able to get that to run. Just log in. See how our install is going. Okay, just accept all that. Okay, so this is the web interface. So we can have a look, if you wanted to have a look at the hosts that we have in each of the clusters. We've currently got five hosts, 5 high-powered machines. Each could probably run about 20 or 30 VMs at one time. And there they are. Okay, so you find for some of the basic labs we have a Ubuntu virtual machine and a Windows virtual machine. You can run these standalone if you want, but it's obviously useful to be able to connect to our private cloud because obviously it's sandboxed, or can be sandboxed from the outside, so we can run more of the tools in here than we could in a normal open space. So this is just installing here. Okay, and you can run Ncase and software such as this backtrack and so on. So we'll just wait for this to finish. There we are. Okay, so the vSphere client is a good client interface, and you probably find it better than the web interface. So remember your login. And you should be able to log in. Just ignore that. Okay, so hopefully we'll get the plugins all set up on the Napier Desktop and you'll be able to use the web. But for just now, let's look at the VMware client. Okay, so remember we're running remotely here. We're on the desktop. Okay, so there's all our VMs there, just as we did before. And remember, you can power things on and off and so on. You should have the rights to be able to power on and off. So what we'll do is we'll just jump on one that isn't actually on just now. In fact, we'll do this one. Okay, so just power it on. And we'll power this one up. So we'll have 2 VMs running, Windows one and a Ubuntu one. Just takes a little minute. Look how quickly that is to power on. Okay, so then once you're happy, we open our console. And we open our other one. There we go. Isn't that first class? So we now have a Windows machine. Okay, so remember Control Alt Insert. Oops, that's not the one we want. Or you can send out a Control Alt Delete from here. Just get logged in. And then over here. Okay, so I think we're pretty much good to go. I have config. Usually the first thing that we do. And this is our address here, 10.200.0.7. IP config 10.200.0.3. So we'll ping this machine. Here we go. And we'll ping this machine. Isn't that fantastic? Okay, so we can you should find that there is a web server running over here. We'll just bring up the browser, some basic tests. ten.200.0.7. There we go. That works. And the Windows machine should be running a web server, hopefully, and telnet and so on. 10.200.0.7. There we go. Isn't that great? Okay, so when you're finished, just power it off, and that says finished. Okay, so the vSphere might not appear again, so just make sure that you save it somewhere in your profile to be able to install it, so that you might install it once and then you can actually reconnect. Okay, and so really that shows how you can access the cloud from your desktop. Okay.